Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining. Good day to you all. It's an amazing Saturday. It's an amazing last Saturday of the month of March 2022. Woo! I'm excited. I know that it's a privilege to have you here, and I do not take your presence, and your joining for granted. It's not easy, to be where I am, where I reside here in Lagos, Nigeria, busy and all of that. You may be outside the country or wherever you're joining from, and you may also be as busy as, the situation of Lagos is, but for you to find time to join, that is massive. We do not take your joining for granted. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here. And thank you for, coming today so that we can share more on minding your thoughts. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you again. You're welcome to everyone, and welcome to everyone that will also, have the privilege to join much later. We're welcoming you in advance. Yes. All right. So we kick off with an icebreaker. What comes to mind when you think about thoughts? Just the word thoughts. All right. So please put in the chat room if you can let me know what you think about the word thoughts. It looks easy, right? Yes, it is. What comes to mind when you see the word thoughts? T-H-O-U-G-H-T. What comes to mind when you see the word thoughts? Quickly in the chat room. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. That is if you're not driving or operating any heavy machinery, please feel free to chat and send in your thoughts in the chat room. Yes, opinion, my brain. Yes, yes, yes. For me, I think ideas. That's what comes to my mind, okay? Your mind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so you're in for a great time because everyone here has said the correct, the correct answer. Because from your mind, your brain, your ideas, your opinion, all of these flow. They flow in as thoughts. And then we have so many millions of thoughts racing through everyone's mind, through research in seconds. And then you find out, how do we mind our thoughts? How can we mind our thoughts? We're going to share together today because we're not, it's not just like, if you've been around, since 1.0, you know that what we do here is share. We try as much as possible to also rub minds, and also get our opinion on life issues so that our mental health can, we can also thrive in our mental health and our overall emotional well-being. That's why we're here. And that's why we have Mind the Mind every quarter. So please, when you hear that word thought, I like the fact that we have shared, our opinions, ideas come to mind, your brain, and your everything that you have shared, just comes to mind like that. And you're all correct. So we move on quickly because when we also come to mind the mind, we are mindful of our time so that we all can go get, active with everything that we have learned, with everything that we planned out to do today. So you're welcome again if you're just joining. Thank you very much. We appreciate that you're here. We move quickly. What are thoughts? What are thoughts? Your thoughts are colored when you see the slide. Just let me know. Your thoughts are colored by what you love. You can see on that the color palette, what you love, what you see, what you do, what you read, what you hear, and what you feel, even what you know and what you want. All of these things and more form your thoughts. And so once you have those thoughts, those ideas, the thinkings from your brain, everything that comes through your mind, everything that passes through your mind are thoughts. Because whether they are positive thoughts or negative thoughts, it's a different ball game, altogether. But when you think about the word thoughts, when we were talking in the beginning, that when you hear thoughts, what comes to mind? All right. And everyone gave fantastic, answers. And it shows that even when you're right where you're seated, you're here on Mind 9.0, but there are so many thoughts that may be flashing through your mind. You may be wondering, oh, what is she about to share? Okay, what else do I need to hear? Or what else do I need to know? And that's why I'm sharing my slides with you so that we can all share. Feel free to drop your opinions, your thoughts, everything that comes through your brain. Feel free to drop your ideas into the chat room as we share together, because we're here to rub minds so that we can all, thrive as we go on in life. Thoughts are mental cognitions. That your thoughts are made up, your thoughts, are made up of so many things, your ideas, your opinions, your beliefs about yourself and the world around us. They include the perspective we bring to any situation or experience that color our point of view. They could either be for better or for worse, or they could be even for the neutral. All right, just like you can see on this color, palette. And so you find out that your thoughts, has content. And it has a pattern. When you're unable to track your thoughts and the patterns that it comes through, then it means that you're just living a freelance kind of life. And that may not be so healthy for you. Let your thoughts, not just come when they come in randomly. Track them. Be aware of what thoughts just came into your mind. If you cannot remember in that split second, probably when it, tends to now become beliefs, and then it begins to form your feelings, and then it moves to how you react or respond to situations, and then it gives results, as feedback to you. If it could even be at this point, if you look at my slide, from this particular one, you can see that your beliefs and your thoughts, that's like the thought flow. We call it the thought flow or the thought chart. You have your beliefs and your thoughts, coming together to form what you feel. And then your feelings move into your actions. Your actions can either be what you respond to or what you react to. Whether you're going to react or respond is now another ballgame entirely. But trust me, when you respond to situations, when you respond, to circumstances, the effects are even more positive. They bring more positive results even than you reacting. We all have that tendency to flight, or to freeze, or to fight, or to even just, take flight when we see situations or challenges that are beyond us. That is just how we're wired. Because at the end of the day, whatever thing that we choose to do, whether to fight, whether to take flight or to freeze or to just, run or to just take charge of that current situation is all, dependent on how well we can manage our thoughts. Look at where it's coming from. So you find out that your thoughts don't just come. It comes from basically what you believe. It comes from what you've heard, probably from all over the place. It comes from what you may be listening to. It comes from the people around you. It comes from your environment. It comes from your roots. It comes from what you truly value, your values. And then it moves to your feelings, and then it moves to your actions, and then it moves to the results that you see. Why is it that most times when we, probably after an action is done, after it becomes a result and is given the feedback that is supposed to be given, we may not like that feedback, probably because it's negative. But if it's a positive feedback, we like it and we celebrate it. But most times we do not, celebrate the thoughts that it came from. That's why it is important for us to track our thoughts per time. Now, once you have a thought, what happens? What happens once you have a thought? In neuroscience, you have so many, terms that define what you do. You have the potential for your action. That means you may feel some sudden outburst of voltage caused by so many chemical changes. Your neurons will signal to one another in your body. And then you find out that your nerves begin to transmit signals. And then once the nerves begin to transmit signals, you have so many chemical messengers also released at the same time. They may be released even as hormones, and then it becomes either the positive hormones or even negative hormones in your body. All right, but when you are able to track them, it's easier for them to communicate with other cells once these chemical messengers are released, in your body. You have the dopamine, you have the serotonin, you have the endorphin, and you have so many other positive hormones like that. And then when they mix together and they give you the results and the feelings that you're supposed to get, you are supposed to be able to track and be aware of what you're getting at that time. Do not allow any form of randomness come into your mind. Once it comes in, most times, if they are negative thoughts, what I do personally is to show them out the same way they came. Once the thoughts are landing in my mind, if they are negative thoughts, I speak them out and I say them and I rebuke them. Okay? I affirm the positive things that I need to see. And that will now eventually move to my feelings. That will move to my actions. It will also translate to my results, the eventual outcome of what I want to see. So I need us to please be reminded, because this is not even new to us, but we're just reminding ourselves so that once we have these thoughts, what comes to your mind? You know that at some point in time, when you have all of these thoughts coming, it's just a matter of time. In a split, of just a twinkle of an eye, it can result into probably a negative feedback, something that you may not want. And it could also result in a positive feedback. So why not choose the positive? So we have what triggers our emotions, what triggers your thoughts. Your emotions have a whole lot of role to play here in being triggers to what you have on your inside. What comes into your mind, it could be probably your emotions, probably when you're happy. It could be when you're sad. It could be when you feel anger. It could be when you're surprised. It could be when you're disgusted. There's so many other emotions. When we begin to talk about the emotion spectrum, you have so many of them. You have overwhelm, you have every of those emotions, there. And then you find out that when you have these emotions, what do you do with them? Do you just leave the trigger? Do you just leave the trigger on and allow, them to just run like free radicals in your system? No. When you're happy, try as much as possible to sustain that happiness. Trace the thoughts. Look at what may have made you happy at that time and see if it's a positive, trigger, and see how at that point, how you can, recreate that happiness. How you can recreate the happiness. And at the end of the day, once you are able to trace that trigger and you are able to recreate what made you happy in the first place, life is much easier. Everything that you set your heart to do is possible. And that's not a cliche. We're not just saying it because we want to say it. You're not just hearing because, this is this 1,000 times that you're hearing it. You don't just know it just because you know it. You know because it's the truth. When you allow your happy thoughts to linger, especially when the happy thoughts are, coming from a very good place, when they are coming from positive triggers, all right, it's easier for you to recreate. And do not just let those happy thoughts come like in a fleeting second and then just go. And then you now switch moods to being sad or to being angry. So many things can come as triggers. You could be in your environment and just hear something and you're triggered to be sad. Someone may just say something, probably on social media, and then you're just, scrolling through, walking through the streets of Twitter, walking through the streets of Facebook or Instagram, and then you're just sad, you're just angry at what you're seeing, if you know that you don't want to sustain that negative emotion, then you try as much as possible to change the trigger. And it means that at that point, you know what has gotten you there. Switch the gears. It's not as simple as it sounds, but when you start by just retracting, just retracing your step, just moving back a little, step outside the box, have that kind of an out-of-body experience. The same goes for probably when you're happy. When you are happy, try as much as possible to place your finger on what may have triggered that happiness. What about the emotional effects of your thoughts? We know that your thoughts can influence the neurotransmitters in your brain. So when you think positive thoughts, it's like you giving immunity, to yourself, giving immunity, giving it the necessary boost to your system. And what happens when you have, positive emotions, flowing all over your body, flowing all over your mind, flowing all over your brain, positive thoughts moving through, you find out that your body is healthier. It has an overall positive effect on your system. We're taking time to lay this foundation now, okay, before we move, but just so that we are reminded, anytime you have any negative trigger, try as much as possible to switch off. You can type in the comment section what you do at this point. We're going to pause for a minute. What do you do anytime you have some negative triggers? What do you do personally? How do you manage your thoughts? How do you manage your emotions? You can share with me in the comment section. If you're there, just chat with me. Tell us what you do. What you do when you have this negative triggers coming through your mind, even when you have the positive thoughts. Okay, so if you throw the covers over your head and that triggers other thoughts like, oh, I'm tired, I can't get up, or life is hard, then you have complex interactions within your brain. You begin to send signals to every part of your body, and so your body begins to get tired. For example, if yesterday night, you wouldn't even know, probably you may just see, probably from maybe you may have sensed it probably from the way I'm talking. I have some cold, and some cold in there, which I'm treating. But the point I'm making is, if I decide to say, oh, I'm not showing up today probably because of the signals that cold was sending through my body overnight, all right? And I decide not to show up, I may not have even been this upbeat at this time. If I say, oh, I'm so tired and I can't even get up, it will not even so. So what I do in, that kind of, what I even did, let me, take it to the present. What I did because of that, what I felt overnight was to try as much as possible to get myself upbeat. I spoke with my husband, we chatted a little, and then we had some positive vibes flowing. And at the end of the day, that was it for me. That was everything that I needed. And then I sent out notifications, okay, come on, we're going on live. That was everything that I needed to get out and show up here. So what do you do? Someone is talking to us in the chat room. What do? You consciously rechannel your thoughts to thankfulness. Thank you very much, Oluwatoyosi. That's wonderful. Consciously rechanneling my thoughts to thankfulness. At the end of the day, when we, engage gratitude, that's very, very good. When you engage gratitude, you rechannel your thought. It means that if your thoughts are in another way, probably your mind or your brain decides to have a mind of their own, if we put it that way. And then you try as much as possible to rechannel them and say, stay here and be grateful. That's very good. Damnala says, I usually try to speak with people that are positive-minded to talk me out of it. Yes. Thank you very much. That's what I did too earlier today, and it's working. It's working. And at the end of the day, once we keep all of these positive vibes up, what do we get? We get a boost of very, very good and happy hormones, into our system. And then it makes us healthier. It makes us stronger. It makes us good to go for the day. And then at the end of the day, once all of these signals are passed through your body, you may not even know that these processes, are that deep. It's sounding so simple, but it's something that works. It's been proven it works because your brain is constantly receiving these signals. There are neurons transmitting, everything is just working through your mind like that. And at the end of the day, research shows that there are waves, there are different patterns through waves in the brain that these thoughts come. And then they go through billions, and you have billions of thoughts moving through your mind at the same time. So you find out that when you really think about it, your thoughts are amazing. They are even miraculous, if we will put it that way. Because when they come to you, you're wondering where are they coming from. It's not like probably maybe you just, some of those thoughts just come into your heart and then they hit you like that. Some of them may be negative, some positive, but once they're negative, you know what to do already. Rechannel them. Rechannel them. Talk to someone to speak you out of those, whatever negative mood. So it says that I quickly put it behind and I try to think the positive side. Yes. Miss Aribi says, I listen to music that uplifts me. Yes. Thank you very much for sharing. Thank you very much for sharing. So let's move on, all right, on our slides. The next slide, shows this particular, just a moment. I'm trying to, okay, pop it up. You have the fact that when you regulate or manage your thoughts, what you get is very simple. What you get is very simple. What you get is a clean bill of mental health. Put simply, look at this slide, for instance. You see those pieces of puzzle up and down with their numbers and all of that. Once you are able, imagine that piece of, that table where you have those pieces of puzzle parts, where you have those bricks sitting there. Imagine them as different thoughts going through your mind. Imagine those ones that are not labeled or numbered going through your mind. And then on top of those ones going through your mind, once you are able to regulate your thoughts, once you are able to manage your thoughts, boom, you find out that you float, your mental health and the positive capacity floats through the negativity. And then in inexplainable ways that only God and science may be able to even prove. Science can even try to prove it. But the truth of the matter is, because we know that your mental health is largely dependent on the various thoughts that come through your mind, you have a duty to regulate your thoughts. Don't let anything random, just come into your thoughts anyhow. We're not of the tribe of those who just allow thoughts to just flow, anything goes. No, arrest them as they come. If they are the positive ones, arrest them there. Don't let them go. If they are the positive thoughts, dwell so much on it. And then once you dwell so much on them, remember to pick your lessons from those positive thoughts. So that because if life happens, the truth of the matter is we are living, we're thriving. And so life is bound to happen. And when we say when life happens, it means that challenges may come, so many difficulties may come, from time to time. But what happens when life happens? Remember two things. Take care of your thoughts when you are alone, and take care of your words when you are with people. That's from an unknown author. It says, remember two things when you're minding your thoughts. And that forms one of the major reasons why we need to mind our thoughts. Because thoughts, are processed even within your brain, processed as ideas, beliefs, and all of these things. And when they come out through your words, through your actions to people, remember to take care of them. Remember to take care of your thoughts when you are alone. And remember to take care of your mind or your words when you are with people. So what won't happen if your thoughts are not minded? It means that some of these thoughts will remain there in their raw states. Some of these thoughts are ideas. Don't let them stay or die in the realm of just thoughts. Don't let them stay there in the realm of just thoughts. And make sure that you develop those thoughts. Don't just let them come and go, just as they have come. Because thoughts move, just like ideas. And so when the thought comes and in its raw state, if you do not ponder over it, if it's a positive thought, you ponder over it, process it into ideas, and then once it develops, bigger things can come out of that. Don't let your thoughts disappear, just the way they have come. Your ideas are God's gift to you. They are the Creator's gift to you. Even if you do not believe in God, you still believe that there's a higher being that has put all of this together. And you also still believe and know that you did not just appear on planet Earth just by your doing, okay? But the truth of the matter is we need to acknowledge our thoughts, acknowledge where they have come from, and acknowledge the thought process, like what we have shared earlier. Acknowledge the thoughts, acknowledge the beliefs, acknowledge where it's coming from, and acknowledge the thought process. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge everything that you're doing to regulate your thoughts. It is important to realize that you need to regulate this thought because it means that what you think can affect how you feel. What you think can affect how you feel. And by the same token, if you're feeling poorly, you can change that by changing how you think. That may be a little unusual. If it sounds a little unusual to you, I mean your thoughts, when they come into your mind, go back to that premise that bore that thought. Go back and to that premise. And then you find out that all of these forces that connect to your body, the neurotransmitters and all of these the neural connections, when you go back to the premise that formed the thought, you would be able to see at a deeper level how your thoughts can affect even your body. How your thoughts can affect your body. I need you to take a minute and pause right now. If you're holding your pen or holding whatever it is, just drop it. And let's take ourselves through this process just this morning. Let's take ourselves through this process. And then when you think about it, if you're at this point, try as much as possible. If you're lying down, if you're sitting down, it's fine. But what you need to do at this point is to start to think. If you want to close your eyes, you can. If you want to leave your eyes open, feel free to do so. But start to think about, pick one thought. Pick one thought right now. Any random thought. Pick it and focus on it. I'm timing you in seconds to see how long you can hold that thought. We're going to hold it for 1 minute. So I'll say go when I start to count now. Go. Your time starts now. Think of a particular thing. Hold that thought. Hold it. Once you hold that thought, we're trying to hold that particular thought for a minute. Hold the thought. Try as much as possible. If you find out that, this thought is between negative or positive, try as much as possible to change it. You have 30 seconds. Change it into something positive. If it's probably tilting towards the negative side, hold that thought. Once you hold it, as you're holding the thought, notice that you have other thoughts floating through, but you're trying to hold it. Keep holding. We're almost there. Keep holding. Keep holding. We're almost there. Once you try as much as possible to hold it, because we're almost there. Okay, try as much as possible. Hold that thought. I did that distraction. When is 1 minute now? And that's a distraction from YouTube, just to let you see how much that thought can be. So how many of you were distracted from your thoughts, from what I tried to play? So release that thought, release it. It's past 1 minute, okay? When you heard that interference, okay? When you heard that interference, what came to your mind? Can you share with me in the chat room? Okay. Umilala says the slide is not moving. Okay, great. We're still on this just particular slide. We're trying to fix our thoughts on this particular one. Once you look at this, okay, look at the slide and look at the thoughts. You want to share? What were you distracted? Or were you able to hold that thought even when you got that interference that I played from here? If you were distracted, come to the chat room and say it. If you were not distracted, also share, okay? So that we can know. But the truth of the matter is, at some point in time, I held a particular thought, all right? And I was smiling here. I held that thought and I was smiling. And when I interfered by myself, I was almost derailed from that thought. And again, the truth of the matter was that when I was holding that particular thought, so many other things were floating through my mind, so many other thoughts. But because I was focused on that one thought, I was able to hold it for much longer. It shows that we can regulate our thoughts. We can regulate our thoughts. There's nothing impossible. And so Formula says I was distracted a bit and I was able to go back to the thought and focused on it so I won't be distracted again. Awesome. Thank you very much for sharing. Awesome. Anybody else wants to share? Quickly go to the chat room and do that, okay? Before we move to the next, point of action. I did not hear the sound you played though, but when you mentioned interference, it also distracted me. But I held the thought for a while, Sha. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Anybody else wants to share? Great, 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 great. Okay, we do another activity. Please close your eyes, all right? And imagine yourself, even if you're sitting, if you're lying down, it's fine, all right? Close your eyes. If you want to open your eyes, it's also fine. But I just said close your eyes, not because of anything, probably just to foster, some concentration on this thought. We're trying to, improve our mental health and show ourselves how best we can regulate our thoughts. When thoughts are going through your mind, your eyes are closed, even as I'm talking right now. When thoughts are going and floating through your mind, imagine yourself in that place that you are right now. You're there physically. You know that that's your reality. But imagine yourself in a dream place, something or somewhere you've always longed to be. Just imagine yourself in a dream place right now. It could be somewhere that you can even visit any moment from now, probably nature, probably somewhere outside your space, anywhere you may want to be. Imagine yourself right there now. And as you're imagining yourself, I'm deliberately not playing any background music from here. Try as much as possible to imagine yourself listening to your favorite music. In that place, remember, you've left this place that you are, your reality, your current reality. You're at a place where you would always have wanted, where you've always wanted to be. And your favorite music is playing. And you're smiling at the mere thought of that. And as you're smiling, if it's something soft, you're moving and swaying to it. If it's something that is rocky in nature, imagine that you're rocking to that vibe. You're rocking to the beat. And then the music stops. And you're asked to sit down. And you begin to imagine that your legs, you're moving your toes right now. You're moving your toes. You can feel the tension on your toes. Tighten that muscle on your leg a bit. All the while taking in a deep breath physically and releasing it. Take in that deep breath again and release it. Now, you can untighten that muscle in your toes. Somebody is still tightening the muscle. Release that muscle in your toes. Yeah? And then you move up. We're walking all the way from your toes to your feet. Wherever you are, even if you're on your bed or you're sitting down, if your feet can touch the floor, you can do that. Okay? All the while you're still in that dream place of yours. Okay? The music has stopped and your heels are touching the ground. Your heels, if you're on your bed, lying down, your heels are on your bed. Tighten that grip and feel that tension for a second. Release that tension and just wiggle your toes for more blood to circulate. We're moving all the way up. Tighten your butt. If you're sitting or if you're on the bed or wherever you are, if you're standing, but if you're driving, please keep your eyes open. Tighten your butt and feel the tension. You can release it and breathe. Keep breathing in and out. In and out. We're working all the muscles up because right now your thoughts are focused on the next thing I want to say. Tighten your fist wherever you are. If you can feel or hear what I'm saying, just tighten your fist. Feel that tension, feel it. Allow yourself to feel the tension in your wrist and release it. Release that tension. Once it's released, breathe. Some of you held your breath and you're so used to holding your breath. Just release that tension, release it, okay? Breathe, keep breathing, in and out, in and out. You're working that muscle all the way up to your upper body. See if you can freeze for a second, like hold your breath, thereby tightening your chest. Release it, and then breathe. Keep breathing. You're working the muscles up to your head now. If your eyes are still open, shut it now. Shut them. Shut your eyes now, close them, and close them tightly, like you're tightening your fists. Release. Take a deep breath and exhale. Exhale. And then feel your head. You may not know until now that I've mentioned that you can feel your head. Feel it. You don't have to touch it. Just feel it. Feel the air on your head. Tighten the muscles around your head. Is somewhere in between tightening your face and the sides of your head. Once you can feel the tension for a second, release it. Take a deep breath and exhale. Now, open your eyes and come back to your bed or to your room or to your desk or to your house from your dream place, wherever you went before. Welcome back. What we did there was trying to help us regulate your thoughts. You found out that at that point, when we were doing that exercise, most of your thoughts of mine, I'll speak for myself because I would like to hear from you, was centered around the next thing I was going to say. So if it felt the same for you, let me know, or what was going on in your mind. Were you able, even while you were tightening your butt, tightening your head, tightening your eyes, tightening your face, were you thinking about any other thing? You can chat, put that in the chat room, and let's engage. Okay, I've said mine. My thought at that time was centered around the next thing I was going to say. Okay? Was it the same for you? Let me know. Were you also having thoughts? Or probably some of you may have put some stuff on your gas and you're cooking. Were you thinking at the same time about what you put on the fire? Or are you somewhere in between classes? You're just trying to take some time off to come for Mind the Mind 9.0, and you have another class probably going on, and you're trying to look at the time. Or are your children maybe where you are crying and they need your attention? Were you able to focus for that minute? Let me know. I mean, if you were able to focus, that's the second part. What was your, the focal point of what was on your mind? What was it? If you want to share the thought on your mind at that time, please feel free to share. If you don't want to share, it's fine. Okay? I'll wait for another minute or two so that we can move. Okay, great. But what we did in a nutshell was regulating and managing our thoughts. Just that exercise. You may not even know because you don't have probably testing kits with you, but you have been able to free up some toxins from your body just by that, meditative exercise. You can do it by yourself when you're not driving or operating any heavy machinery. Just try as much as possible, squeeze from all the way from your toe to your head. Release the tension, just release and, hold the tension, release and hold it. At the end of the day, you're allowing blood to flow through your brain, passing through your thoughts. And at that point, you're able to regulate your thoughts. It could be that probably when you're about to give a response, give a reaction that you're not supposed to give, take your time and pause. Stop yourself, stop that thought in the track so that it will help you boost your mental health. You can try that and also try, setting up yourself for positive thoughts. Like what Ms. Aribi said earlier, listen to music that uplifts you. Watch skits, do things that you're happy about. And at every point in time, try as much as possible to be around people that matter to you. If you can't be around them, talk to them, chat with them. Do things that will make you remember them. And do not forget, remember to take care of your thoughts when you are alone, and take care of your words when you're with people. All right? So please take note of that. It's very, very key. We're moving on to the next point. And it says that how change is created, because this is the concluding part, and we have some assessment to do. Because of time, we may not be able to do the assessment, do all of the assessment, but I'll send you the link. I found it very, very helpful, and I'll send you the link. Please be sure to do that assessment. It's free to do that assessment, and it will not take you time. And even after the assessment, you get your results immediately. And then you also get the steps, what you need to do to create your own change. Look at this, diagram, for instance. It starts from your idea. That's how your change is created. And then it moves to your thoughts, which is number 2. And then it moves to your feelings. Your thoughts becomes, feelings. And then those feelings can graduate and become plans. And those plans can graduate to becoming habits if you let them. It becomes habits. And then when you are committed to those habits, it becomes a lifestyle. And then you begin to see your change. So you cannot jump from an idea, number 1, and jump to change, number 8. It does not work that way. So it lets you know that life itself is a process. If you have an idea and you jump to number 8, you have skipped point 2 to point 7. You have skipped it. You have skipped all of those processes. You skipped thoughts, you skipped feelings, you deprive yourself of planning. You deprive yourself of forming an habit and being committed to that habit. You've also deprived yourself of having a good or positive lifestyle. And you have deprived yourself even of the ultimate change. So never, ever share that, if you have that thought and then you feel that, oh, it has to just, bounce like that without going through a process, even if it may not follow sequentially from feelings to plans and habits, it may not follow sequentially like that. But when you have an idea, it must first be processed as your thoughts. Once ideas are not fully processed into thoughts, then it's just an idea waiting to go and crash most of the time. And then you find out that such ideas do not have lasting, changes. Their effects may not last. When you have ideas, even if you don't go through all of those 7 in-between processes, make sure that you process those thoughts. Process those thoughts. As you process those thoughts, you have some plans coming into place, and then you can, get your plans together, and then it becomes your change. You can even have just number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and 8, which will be fine. You can have number 1, you can have number 2, you can have number 4, you can have number 7. That will be your change. Your lifestyle, the new lifestyle that you have, will be your change. You can have number 1, you can have number 2, you can have 5, and then you have 6. That will be your change. That may be just fine for you. Okay? And then don't beat yourself for it. When you find out that at some point in time, you're falling short and you're unable to concentrate, all you need to do is just pick up from where you have stopped and then move. Pick up from where you have stopped and then move. No idea, is valuable when it just stays in their raw states. The thoughts, it must be processed into good thoughts, positive thoughts, and then develop further so that it can bring you so much. And when you find out that all of these things are working through your mind at the same time, try what we call meditation. You may have heard about meditation. We also have meditation. It's also a form of meditation that is probably done while lying down or you're on the comfort of your bed. I'm trying that on myself, recently now. I still tried it yesterday night and it's working because I've been having some difficulty sleeping. I don't know if you're having difficulty sleeping because there's so much on your mind, or maybe you're stressed, or maybe you're thinking about so many things, or maybe you're thinking about, where you are right now. I hope, even if you're thinking about the situation of the world, probably what is happening in Russia or Ukraine, or even what is happening in your own home country where you reside, just try it. Try meditation. It helps you. In that assessment I'm going to share with you, there will be there are step-by-step ways for you to try that meditation. It works. It works. It really works. And then try to relax your muscles. This is basically how I try also to mind my thoughts that I'm sharing with you. You may have so much more. You can add yours to it. Add them. Feel free to add yours. These points are not, they are not the all in all. They are inexhaustible. The how that you can, the how about minding your thoughts, they are inexhaustible. But just try these tips. It will work. Try meditation. Try to relax your muscles, just as we've done. Take care of every form of restlessness that you may have. Sleep regularly. As I'm sounding sleep regularly, it's sounding back in my ears because I'm telling myself the same thing. Sleep regularly. I'm sure my husband will be smiling now. Sleep regularly. Watch your sleep patterns. And when we say sleep regularly, okay, I recently learned that when we watch our sleep patterns, it's easier for our bodies to, recalibrate and form that pattern. Sleep patterns in the sense that try as much as possible to go to, when you find out that if you go to bed so late every time, like some of us do, which may not be healthy, all right? And we're trying to snap out of it. So when you go to bed probably at 11 p.m. every day, even if you try to go to bed 9 p.m. the next day, it may not work. You may boot and boot and boot on that bed until when it's 11. So try another sleep pattern. Try another sleep pattern. Try to go to bed at so time as God will allow you. Just try as much as possible. Try. I'm also saying that to myself. Sleep regularly, okay? And then when you find out that all of these thoughts are still coming, how you can also mind your thoughts is to exercise more. Get your body to move. Get your body to move. It could be every day, it could be every other day, but make sure that you're moving your body, move your system. Don't sit if your work permits you, maybe allows you to just sit in a place, maybe for 9 straight hours. Try as much as possible in between work, move around, take your breaks. If you're taking your break, even if you brought your lunch, okay, try as much as possible not to eat it on your desk. Or move around, maybe if you have a garden in your office that you can use, move there. If you have a kitchen there, move there. Just that movement from your table, to that place would give you some boost. Okay? Try as much as possible to move. Don't, be static. Move your body. Let social media and devices rest. Let them stay in the realm where they have been created to stay. In the realm of social media. Let them stay there in the cloud, okay? Try as much as possible to get some me time for yourself. It is possible to get that me time. Someone may be asking, is it possible to get that me time in this world? Yes, it is possible. It is. It is possible to have that me time. Fumi says, I've gone through a season of not sleeping. That was a bad experience. Yes, it's a bad experience. And at every point in time, try it. It works. Try the meditation. Try these positive attitudes. Try to regulate your sleep patterns. Eat healthy as much as you can. Move your body. Talk to people around you that will give you some positive boost and some positive ginger. Do everything that you need to do. And then remind yourselves daily of all these things that you need to do. Remind yourself daily. I will post that link. That link is the truth. I'll post it to the chat room right now so that we can all have a taste of it. It is very good. Let me know your feedback through email much later, or just slide into my DM at Olurunke Oluwalere or at Emotional Wellness Tribe on all social media handles. Okay? Just try. Send me a DM, send me a direct message, chat with me online, or send me an email. Send us an email address at emotionalwellnesstribe@gmail.com. I'll post that link here. If you have the link, try to copy it. I'll also send that link to you in the feedback that we're sending to you after now. Once the recording is also ready, I'll share the link as well so that we have all the materials that we need to be better. You see, in this life, we are all going to be healthy mentally. We are all going to be healthy mentally. Anytime you feel stressed and down, try that meditation. Try the muscular movement that we just did to release the tension from your body. Try some different forms of meditation. Just by keeping still is also good. If you have not had water therapy in a long while, try it. Try go to the pool. Try go to the beach. Try it. It works. Play therapy is there. So many people have forgotten to play. You don't even know how to play anymore. The people around you are playing, and you are so uptight, and you're so focused. It's good to be focused, but once in a while, play. Let there be a time that you've devoted to playing. Let it be in your schedule every day. Play. It could just be you by yourself watching a skit, as long as it has positive content. You need play therapy. Yes, good. Play. Play. It's good. Play, just play. Play around with your spouse, play around with your children, play with your friends. Play. Watch skits by yourself. Listen to good, pure, nice comedy skits. Dance. So many people have forgotten that part. How many? Only when we see parties. Even to go to parties these days because of COVID. Thank God that is winding down. But we all have to still be careful, and mask up and be safe and all of that. But try as much as possible to enjoy life. Enjoy it. Play. And the truth of the matter is you can play by yourself as well. But find time to also bond and connect. Another thing that you must add to that list is the fact that you must find your tribe. Love them hard when you find your tribe. Don't let such people go. Love them hard. Even if you're not physically together, just chat, talk to each other. Find positive people that you can, people who get you. When we're talking tribe, we're not talking about maybe your ethnic group or anything here. We're talking about people who get you, people who you're on the same wavelength. Positivity, mindset all the time. Even when one is about to be down, you find people that will pull you up. That's how life is supposed to be. Play. Play therapy is super good. Water therapy is good. Talk therapy is also good, but we need to find time to also meditate. Find time to be by yourself at times and also calmly absorb everything. Release that. Just try that technique alone that we did today. Let your tongue just release from your toes. Remember that we worked the muscles all the way from our toes to our head. Do that. And then by doing that, you're releasing toxic, elements. And then you're subconsciously taking in positive ones. Because as you breathe, remember that you have added breathing exercises. 2 therapies in one. You've added breathing exercises as a therapy to that particular therapy. Okay? That muscle relaxation therapy. Just try it. At every point in time, try it. It helps you a lot. And then it makes you a better person at the end of the day. Once you're fired up and boosted positively, it will not be long for you to affect and be a catalyst to the next person around you. So that when you enter a room, there's no how that positive energy cannot be felt. You are alone by yourself. You have so much positive energy. Share it. What's the use of joy that you cannot share? Share it. If something made your day, something maybe you read, something you listened to, if it made your day, share it. You may probably saw a skit, share it. If you saw a picture, share it. Something that you like, share it. It doesn't have to be so worded. Share it. If it's just a song, a clip, share it. And we'll all be better for it. So if you have not been able to copy that, that link, this is the link right here. And remember to reach out to us at emotionalwellnesstribe@gmail.com. emotionalwellnesstribe@gmail.com. Or you can, slide into my DM on all my social media handles at Oluronke or at Emotional Wellness Tribe. And then we'll be able to continue the conversations from there. Do you have anything that you want to share with us, as we round up this session? It's been an amazing 1 hour sharing deeply with you. It's been an amazing 1 hour sharing my thoughts with you. It's been an amazing 1 hour sharing the thoughts, that I've been able to get from wonderful references, like the NHS link I just sent to you now. It's been an amazing 1 hour, talking to us about how we need to mind our thoughts. Thank you very much for showing up today. And we hope to see you at the next edition of our Mind the Mind at the next quarter. It will be Mind the Mind 10. We won't even call it 10.0 because it's already 2 double digits already. So Mind the Mind 10 is coming with a bang. Anticipate it. Expect it. You get the link after now that you can also share to people around you. Thank you very much. So it's time for questions. Please go ahead, ma'am. If you have a question, you can unmute yourself and ask, or type in the chat room if you wish to ask. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, it's been very interesting. I've learned a lot first about the fact that I can even keep track of my thoughts is one thing that will be my major takeaway today, and also the exercise that we did to, relieve stress. My question is about positive affirmation. So I know a lot of people say that it's good to have words of affirmation you say to yourself every day. But I find that sometimes it's difficult for me to continue to be consistent with it. So are you someone that does that, and how have you been able to maintain your consistency with it every day? That's my question.
All right. Thank you very much for that wonderful question, ma'am. Okay, so about positive affirmations, how will you be able to sustain, especially when you're unable to sustain, your level of affirmations? The truth of the matter is we are all human. Sometimes we forget to say it. Yes, sometimes. But at the point when you remember, pick it up and start running with it. That's all. That's the miracle that works. Because the truth of the matter, you're going now, for example, I'm driving to work or taking the children to school, and we're saying our affirmations. And then one random person is crossing the road anyhow. At that point, as I'm hooting, I'm also whining down and say, darling, cross well. That's if I even get to say the darling part. You know what you get to say most of the time. But the truth of the matter is, at that point, affirmations are paused. But when we remember again, we move and we run with it. So please don't be deterred. Don't be discouraged. Whenever you remember to affirm, but don't let it be too long. You can draw up a schedule. What helps also is when you have your affirmations pasted around you. That's another point. The first point is that when you forget, don't beat yourself over it, okay? Once you remember, just pick it up from there and run with it, okay? Another point that will help is paste it all over your place. If you have probably a desk at the office, paste it where you can see it. Your computer screen, put a post-it or a sticky note somewhere you can see it. A trigger. Remember that we talked about, what triggers your thoughts. So many things that we see, what we feel, what we hear can trigger it. It may just be a simple line of affirmation. Once you see it, you already know that it's time to say all the rest of your affirmations. And you may be bored of that set of affirmations. Change it. That's another point. If you're bored of it, change it. It doesn't have to be so long. It may be 3 lines, it may be 4 lines. It may be just, a positive statement that pushes you through the day. Say it. You can record yourself. That's one point that also helps me. Record yourself and put yourself on replay. Even when you're driving, when you're working, if you can, if you're in your own workspace, play it over and over. You have so many good affirmations, out there on social media. Play them. Even if you can't record yourself, play them. And then once you listen to them over and over again, it becomes a part of you. So that even when you're going, maybe you're rushing for something, you're rushing for a conference, you're rushing for your task for that day, when you remember, just pick it up. Because the truth of the matter is, as human beings, we may not be saying our affirmations 24 hours, 7 days. But at least by the time you are able to keep track of your thoughts, it will move, even from probably you have forgotten in 1 whole month to even say your affirmation, okay? By the time you keep track of it and you put your schedule, you put it on your scheduler, put it on just the same way you don't forget to do so many other things. Put it everywhere that you can find. It may just be 1 line that will trigger you, something that will tell you that it's time. Just put those reminders out there. It will also help. And then try, if you walk around people who, talk about too many challenges, it may be time to change your tribe. Or if there are people who are stressors and you cannot change them, this applies to almost everyone. You may have stressors around you. You may not be able to change probably where you work or change the people that are around you. Try as much as possible. From all of these things we mentioned are like coping mechanisms that will help us go through our days, and then your days turn into weeks, they turn into months, turn into years, and then you are able to say, oh, for this whole year, for this whole quarter, the first thing you're going to do is to assess yourself. How well have I done with my affirmations? On a scale of 0 to 10, have I been on a 5, on a 10, or a 2, or a 1, or even 0? if you have not done well this quarter, affirming yourself and saying those positive things that you would naturally like to say, do plan well to say them even in the next quarter, so that by the time we're sharing with each other, we would also have positive things to share. I hope that answers your question, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Is there any other question? Yes, ma'am. Is there any other question from any quarter? Thank you very much. If there are no questions, please feel free to reach out. If any question comes to your mind much later, reach out. You have our email addresses already. Reach out, and then you can also like and share on YouTube once the link is posted, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get all of the feedback that you want. I will share a feedback link later, much later after now. We'll share with the recording of this session so that you can relive the experience. And in case you missed out anything, you'll be able to pick it up from there. That link that I also shared earlier, I'm still going to post it in the email that I'll send to you so that you can take the assessment. I really, really want us to take the assessment. It helps your mental health. It helps you, everyone is on that spectrum of it's just like a mental health scale. Okay, you may be on a 1 on it, or on a 10, or on a 5, but at every point in time, let's do our mental assessment, even as much as we do our medical checks, our physical medical checkup. Do your mental assessment, do your mental assessment, check in with a coach from time to time so that you can have, your mind and your heart and your brain working, at a positive level and frequency. Thank you everyone for being here. It's been awesome, sharing with you. It's been awesome engaging and rubbing minds. I really appreciate that you're here, and we're grateful. I'm so grateful that you're here. Thank you so much. And to everyone that would even watch this after now, you're in for an amazing time to relive the experience. You're going to have an awesome time minding your thoughts. So on this note, we've come to the end of Mind the Mind 9.0. Thank you, everyone. Do have a wonderful day. Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Let me see if I can play you some nice, groovy music to go. All right. Thank you, everyone. It's been an amazing time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Do not have rights to this music, remember? All right. But you can definitely enjoy the group. So I'll stop the recording now. Thank you very much. Thank you.